guys, it's Monica and welcome back to Spiritual Success TV, where spirituality meets entrepreneurship. So this week I wanted to talk to you all about a topic that has haunted me my whole life. It is communication. So I don't know if you guys know my story, but I was pretty much terrified of everything having to do with communication. I was afraid of having conversations. I was afraid of conflict. I would just not speak up. I wouldn't get anything I wanted, right? Because you can't get what you want if you don't ask for it. So I really had a really rough time, for the majority of my life. And it wasn't until I realized that everything can be solved with communication. That's when I decided, you know what, it's it. Let me, and I've put together some awesome steps for you to follow in the event that you have to have you have to communicate something scary or something that you're afraid of, or maybe this is a really tough conversation. I'm going to show you what I now do in order to be effective and in order to leave feeling complete and preserving the relationship. That's the most important part, right? Relationships are super important, and this is why you're communicating, right? You're trying to get something across, something off your chest. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing, and this can be used on anybody, whether it's your family, your friends, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, business partner, anybody. You can use the same technique, and it pretty much works every time on any human being. So the first thing that you want to do is visualize the outcome. Right now, you've pretty much you realize, like, I've got this on my chest. There's something I need to speak about. And so now it's like, okay, so we're going to put this in action. So visualize the outcome. What do you want to happen? Just envision imagine the whole conversation going down. Imagine it with a very positive outcome, right? What do you want? If depending on what outcome you want, what does that look like? What is the person saying to you? What are you saying to that person? Envision smiles and a hug, very positive sort of visualization. And then the next thing you would do is I want you to write it down. So prepare. It's just like anything else, like a presentation, you need to prepare. Write down some notes. Get your notes down on paper. This is really important because what it does is it keeps the conversation less emotional, and it allows you to feel way more complete because you get everything off your chest. How many times have you had a conversation where you didn't write it down and you had it and you were like, damn it, I forgot to say that, now it's too late, right? You've got this window of opportunity, you've got this person right in front of you, you're having this conversation about this very important topic. Write them all down, think about it, sleep on it, really, really get everything down on paper. And then, okay, so the next step is look at it objectively. We tend to look at most things subjectively, which is coming from the I, right? I need this, I want to win, I need to be right. So let's look at it objectively. So this is lawyer talk here. It's kind of like, look at it from a reasonable place, from like somebody else's eyes. Is it reasonable? Are you what you're asking for? Is it reasonable? Is there any place that you can take ownership? Is there somewhere that you can take full responsibility or any responsibility of what might have happened? And a lot of times there are places where we can take ownership, and there are places where we can take responsibility, and that right there will make a very, very powerful conversation where, because like this person, you don't know, this person might be waiting for you to say something as well. And if you go there pointing the finger and blaming and coming from that place of blame, excuses, you may not get anywhere. So it's important to see where you could probably take some ownership yourself. All right, so now that you've got all that written down, it's go time. So if you're still afraid, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I don't know if I can schedule it. Think about what would happen if you didn't have this conversation. Would things stay the same? Is that a painful place? Like, try to get yourself to feel that pain and say, that way the pain of not doing it is greater than doing it, and that'll force you to do it. I just schedule it, I text, without even thinking, because the minute you start to overthink it, that's when you cancel, that's when you get cold feet, that's when you decide you don't want to move forward. So now it's time to communicate, right? You've scheduled it, you've talked to this person, you texted them, and you said, all right, we need to talk about this. I have something I want to get off my chest. Right before the conversation, I meditate. I breathe. There's actually a meditation perfect for this exact scenario. How awesome is that? It's a Kundalini meditation called Meditation for a Calm Heart. And you put your left hand over your chest, and then you use the Gyan Mudra. It's a very classic meditation, very classic mudra. This stimulates peace. And so if you just do this and you just breathe for a few minutes, even just like a minute, 3 minutes prior to having this conversation, what this does is it opens your heart so that you can see the real person. You can see this without the ego, without the judgment. You can see this person for who they are, and you can have a powerful conversation. Because the thing about relationships is they are learning tools, right? If there's something that you're triggered by about this person or anyone else, this is really just kind of like a general tip about relationships. If there are qualities that you are triggered by, there's a fraction, or on some level there is that quality within you, and you don't like it about yourself, which is why you get triggered, from the other person. This is part of our ego. This is part of the relationship. And so by this sort of being enhanced and triggering you and creating this conflict, what it's doing is it's showing you what you need to work on. So it's a learning tool. So I go in every relationship that I have now, I use it as a learning tool. How can I learn from it? And how can I teach? The more you teach, the more you learn. So this is just kind of a general tip or general rule, just so you know before going into this very important conversation. All right, so it's communication time. So we're gonna get our gloves ready. Just kidding, we don't do that. This is we're actually gonna be very peaceful, right? You've done your meditation. So these are some tips that I want you to take into consideration when you are doing this. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna talk from the heart. All right, love, compassion, forgiveness, and then you're gonna talk to their heart. Okay, so talking from the heart and talking to their heart. If you keep those in line, you will always think about love. And at the end of the day, that's all anybody wants. If the person's not listening to you, I hear this so much about like moms and like my mom, she doesn't listen to me. Like at the end of the day, all she wants is your love. So just love her, love this person. If they don't listen to you and you can't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you have to be friends with them. It doesn't mean you need to keep this person in your life. But if you do want to keep them in your life, if their communication doesn't work, just love, right? That is like the fallback. Okay. After that, so now you're talking from the heart. You're talking to their heart. Make sure to pause. Make sure to breathe. Make sure to stay calm. Stay even toned. I shut down when somebody gets really loud. Most people do. So just stay calm and just, stay from a place of power, not force. That's the key. And try to go into this conversation with no expectations. You have no idea how this person's going to react. If you do all these steps, hopefully this person will react back in a loving way, but at the end of the day, we don't know what the outcome really is going to be, because we don't know what the purpose of this is yet. So I would just go into it with no expectations and completely detach from the outcome, so that you're not sort of devastated, or you're in despair because this person didn't get you, and no judgment. Try to look at this with no judgment, and this person with no judgment. If they're reacting to you in a certain way, they're probably in pain. Most people hurt because they're hurt. So if you can remember that and just kind of come from the love angle, you'll feel so much better after having this conversation, and you'll coming from that place. And try to listen deeply. A lot of times we hear, but we don't actually listen. So this is a really good practice, not just for this conversation, but for conversations in general. People just want to be, they just like, the best gift that you could ever give anybody is your time and your quality of, and your, listening and being present. So if you could just be fully present and just give this person your attention, you can really go a long way. All right, so those are my tips. They've served me so well. I've used them in pretty much everything. I'm an attorney, so I've used them in my own practice. I've used them with my husband. I've used them with, who's probably watching this video. He's actually behind the camera right now. And I've used them with, pretty much everybody. It's super duper duper. It's effective. And you will come out feeling great. When you do something that's not aligned with you, sometimes you come out feeling icky, but this will make you feel great regardless of the outcome. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please share it if you're inspired. I also wanted to make an awesome, exciting announcement. I'm accepting applications for my School of Spiritual Success. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for more fulfillment and more joy, maybe you feel like you don't have the mindset, you've got a team to lead and you don't feel like you're leading properly, or you feel like you're getting frustrated, you've got anger, maybe you're feeling like you're out of tune, you're out of whack, you're chaotic, you're attracting negative events and people and so forth, call me up. I can help you. All right, everybody, have a great week and I'll see you next week.
Damn.